Hello everybody, welcome back to yet another video. In today's video, I am going to be reviewing what was, in my opinion, the most anticipated movie of the year. It was definitely the movie I was most looking forward to this year, and that is Spider-Man No Way Home. So, Spider-Man No Way Home, I've actually seen this twice now. I saw it on opening night, and then I just got home from seeing it tonight, Saturday night as I'm recording this. And I actually have already recorded this video once. I'm re-recording this video because on first watch, I wasn't sure how I felt. I was kind of iffy about it. But on second watch, my opinion changed drastically, and that was in a good way because now I absolutely love this film. So the main issue that I had with it the first time around was that it didn't feel real to me. It felt more like a fan fiction, honestly. And so most of the time I was watching the movie, I kind of had this weird feeling, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was exactly for a while, but that's what it was. And upon watching it the second time, that feeling was completely gone. At this point, I don't know what changed, but it just clicked in my head that this is a real movie, and everything that was on screen, I loved it. I could not have asked for anything really better here. So to start off here, I'm going to talk about the first act. The first act, the first time around, I thought was pretty fast, and it is still very fast-paced. A lot of stuff happens in the first half an hour or so. And honestly, I don't have a problem with that because this movie has a lot of stuff to get through, and it's 2.5 hours long, which is, I think, by far the longest Spider-Man movie that we've ever had, except for maybe Spider-Man 3 was close. But this is a really long movie, and so I was glad that it was long because it allowed them to have all this stuff that they had in the film while also not feeling like there was way too much crammed in, like in, for example, Spider-Man 3, where there was just everything felt so rushed. In this film, nothing felt rushed. I don't think this is a spoiler because it was in the trailer. We saw that there are 5 different villains in this film, and it didn't feel like there was too many villains. In Spider-Man 3 and in TASM 2, it felt like there was too many villains, but this movie handled it a lot better. And the only thing I will say is I wish Sandman got some more screen time. I felt like he was underused, but aside from that, I thought we got a decent amount of each character. And in particular, I thought that, first of all, Doc Ock was handled very well. I loved him in this, but Green Goblin was phenomenal. Willem Dafoe was incredible in this movie, and his performance was amazing. Green Goblin was already probably my favorite Spidey villain from the live-action movies, and this movie just made me love the villain even more because he had such an interesting motive, and just in general, he was an amazing villain. I really liked him, and I think it was great that they brought Willem Dafoe back. I think in general, it was great that they brought back all of the original actors for these villains because those are the villains everyone grew up with and loved, and so I'm really happy that I got to see them again, especially Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin. I thought he was amazing and did a fantastic job with the villain and was a fantastic villain in general. Now, flipping over to Spider-Man, I think that this is the best that Tom Holland's Spider-Man has been portrayed in any of these MCU films, because he has had an over-reliance on Stark Tech a lot of the time, because obviously he was with Tony, and Tony gave him the Iron Spider suit and stuff, and Karen, or whatever the heck his AI is called, I think it's called Karen, and Edith, he's always had these AIs that do stuff for him, and he's basically just felt like another Iron Man. And even his villains have been Iron Man villains that he just has to fight. So I was really happy that in this film, he didn't have to rely on Stark Tech. It wasn't a Stark created villain. He didn't have to worry about the big picture MCU stuff. He didn't have to rely on Tony or on Nick Fury. He did, I guess, have a little bit of help from Doctor Strange, but for the most part, he was doing stuff on his own with his friends or whatever. And that's the Spider-Man that I really like to see. I like to see an independent Spider-Man that's doing his own thing, solving his own problems, creating his own villains. That's the Spider-Man I love. That's the Spider-Man we got with Tobey and Andrew. And it's nice to see that this is finally what's happening with Tom's Spider-Man. And I'm hoping that they continue going furthermore with this side of Spider-Man in his future movies. So, this is obviously a spoiler-free review because the movie has still just recently come out, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I thought that the third act was phenomenal. That was all I really cared about in this film. Was I wanted a really good third act, and I got exactly what I wanted. I thought that the third act was amazing, and just in general, I think that the fight scenes there were great, and the fight scenes in general were really well handled. I really liked the Doc Ock fight scene on the bridge that they showed a lot of in the trailer. And there were some Green Goblin fights that were really good, especially the last Green Goblin fight that was in the film. Just in general, I thought the action was really well done and is probably the best that we've seen in MCU Spidey so far. So, on to something that I had a negative with in both viewings actually, was that in the third act, there's kind of like these MacGuffins. I can't get too much into them because, again, this is a spoiler-free review. There are these MacGuffins that are supposed to solve all the problems. And I felt that they weren't very well explained. In particular, there was like one that I really had an issue with that didn't make any sense to me. Actually, there were two that didn't make sense to me. But yeah, these MacGuffins just kind of came in and was like, yeah, I'm going to use these. This is going to solve all my problems. And I thought that was kind of weird. But at the same time, I thought it was, like, I didn't have a huge issue with it. It was just something that I thought was weird, and I just didn't really follow the logic of why they were so important. But again, that didn't take away from my viewing experience all too much. And the final last thing that I want to say before I get into the ratings here is that, number one, I think that the cinematography was, your average cinematography. There was one really cool long shot right after, because this movie picks up right where Far From Home left off. And so this movie had a really cool long shot right when Peter found out about his identity being revealed when they went back to his apartment. And I love that shot. I think that was a great shot. But besides that, cinematography, I didn't notice a whole lot. There were some nice shots in terms of like lighting and stuff. But anyways, onto the score. I really like the score. Again, I can't get into it too much because if I tell you what scenes of score I liked, that kind of ruins some of the stuff. So I'm just say I liked how they used the score. I thought it was really well done. It was pretty epic a lot of the time. And yeah, just in general, it was pretty solid. But anyways, that's all I have to say. So I'm going to get into the ratings here. In terms of entertainment value, I really had a fun time watching this the second time around. There are some great scenes that I'm definitely looking forward to going back to and rewatching. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for entertainment value this time. And in terms of quality of film, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 because I think it was very well made. The story was great. I had some problems with it the first time around, but most of those problems have been resolved on the second time around. So that's going to give a total overall rating of 9.5 out of 10. So this movie has been hailed as like the best Spider-Man movie ever. And one of my friends even said it's his favorite MCU movie. I don't think I fall there for either of those two categories. It's a good Spider-Man film. It's up there with one of the best ones. I don't think it's the best though. If you want to know where I'm going to place it in terms of the rest of the Spider-Man movies, make sure you subscribe down below because sometime over the next couple of days, I'm going to record and release a ranking video for all 8 Spider-Man live-action films. So make sure you guys stay tuned if you want to see that. And yeah, that is basically all I have to say today. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe down below if you're new around here. If you want more updates on any of my videos, make sure to follow me on Instagram at ntd_films. I also have a short film called Repentance, which is going to be coming out on Christmas Eve. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that as well. I've been working really hard on it, which is partially why this movie review is so late. But yeah, I've been working really hard on that, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. I think it turned out really good. It's almost done, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's all I have to say, so I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.